President Obama coming under heavy fire for his ISIS strategy, or lack thereof, and that's turning terror into one of the biggest 2016 issues. A brand new ABC News Washington Post national poll finding Donald Trump is overwhelmingly the favorite of Republicans to handle the threat of terror. A whopping 42% saying they most trust Trump. The next closest, Governor Jeb Bush with 18%. Now that's 24 points behind Donald Trump. And today, Trump talking to Bill O'Reilly, warning about the potential threat from Syrian refugees.
Well, it's very simple. When they come in from Syria, guest of President Obama, we shouldn't be taking any because we have no idea where they come from, who they are. They have no paperwork. There's no way of proving that their paperwork is correct. When they come in from Syria, I want them to be registered. They have to be registered. We have to watch them because we just don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. We don't know if they're ISIS, and we don't know if they have evil intentions. So I want them registered.
The On the Record political panel is here from The Hill, A.B. Stoddard, and from the Daily Beast, Betsy Woodruff. You know, A.B., Donald Trump, 42%. That's among Republicans, of course, and that's way ahead of Jeb Bush, who's number 2. But I'd like to see President Obama put into the mix on this and have it a national poll.
Well, I think that even before Paris, there was terrible polling about Americans' view of President Obama's leadership or strategy against ISIS. And those numbers are getting worse. People are really bewildered by his response, getting more angry at Republicans than he did at ISIS, not trying to find the words to comfort Americans or talk about a way forward. I don't think talking about the refugees all the time is too helpful either, because actually that's not a strategy as our next commander-in-chief against ISIS in Syria and Iraq. But that's the focus of the Republican race right now. Donald Trump projects a kind of strength. He talks a lot about immigration policy. 83% of his supporters are Republicans who are pro-deportation. And that's a big issue right now in that race.
Betsy, why is he way ahead of everybody else in the Republican Party? 42% of the Republicans say Trump for the France terror attack, that he could handle it better. That's huge.
I think there's an enormous amount of fear and concern about terrorism and about foreigners and a lot of these major global shifts that we're seeing. Now, the important thing to bear in mind, though, when we talk about Trump, what Trump says about dealing with these problems, is that a lot of his rhetoric is kind of divorced from what the reality actually looks like. On that clip of him talking with O'Reilly earlier, he said we have no idea who these people are coming in. They could be anyone. They could be ISIS. But that's just not factually accurate. Syrian refugees go through a 3-year screening process, longer than non-Syrian refugees, because they're viewed as more of a threat. Thus far, we've only let in a very small number of them, but Trump is able to talk about these things in a way that makes it sound like he's the only one who understands, even though he's actually not correctly explaining the situation.
Okay, voters and viewers, it's your turn. I want to know what you think. Has your opinion of Donald Trump gone up or gone down since he announced his presidential bid? Tweet up or down using hashtag Greta, and we're going to show you your live Twitter votes throughout the show. All right, I want to turn now to the race and about the AB, Donald Trump, the new numbers, 32, he's still number 1. But the interesting thing, I think, is that in 3 months, his numbers haven't changed. He hasn't gone down any.
I know. And the caucuses in Iowa are 10 weeks from tonight. And that is a long time, but it's also a short time. If you think about the focus of voters, if he's dominated the polls for this long, and he is the sort of front runner with staying power, and they're looking at the holidays and then the new year, and then the caucuses quickly come up just weeks later, how much is this going to shift? It might shift if he continues to talk, make up fabrications that get pants on fire assessments for untruths, but maybe not.
Betsy, and Ben Carson still number 2, but he's 22%, 10 points behind. That's where he stays.
His numbers have vacillated a tiny bit more than Trump's have, which is interesting for him, right? But at this point, more than half of Republican primary voters support Trump or Carson. You add together the 2 senators, and they're not even particularly competitive with these guys.
A.B., Betsy, thank you.